I haven't been to church in a while. Well, looks like we got a service right here. Let me jump in on this and go ahead and get some wise words of wisdom from the pastor. See what we got. Looks like they're
Roberta
tithing.
McCoy, giving faith and stand in unity with the vision of perfecting church of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
That's 1,000.
Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
That ain't what he asked you to do. Now let me walk away from you in disgust because you ain't got all my money. You better hand that money over to pimping. Me the pastor, and I need all my money. Oh, and by the way, that extra 30, because you should only owe me $765 because you gave me 1,000 when Lil Man handed over the first check. Then you subsequently gave me another $235, but that extra 35, that's gonna go in to the gas tank of my Lincoln Aviator that I got sitting outside the church in a handicap spot with no handicap sticker on it. Oh yeah, and it's a 2026. So go ahead and get me my money stat. Go ahead and get up out of here. And don't return till you got the money. I am DotSale. How's it going, y'all? We got to talk about this. This is crazy. Y'all just seen the video. Now, the crazy thing about it is there's a follow-up to this. So I'm going to give y'all the exclusive of the pastor and Roberta trying to do damage control from this whole situation. And it's going to be crazy when you hear what they got to say to defend all of this. But first, let's check this video out again and then look at a few other things. I want to go to actually a couple of Bible verses that actually would prove that both of these two are in the wrong in this situation. And I'm going to explain it to you exactly why directly from the Bible itself.
Roberta McCoy, giving faith and stand in unity with the vision of perfecting church of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235
he got the big shiny suit on
and receiving the blessings to come to all that participate.
Yeah, you see, they all got their envelopes ready.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Plus 1,000.
Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
You heard about sleight of hand, man. The pimpsters, I mean the pastors, they got sleight of voice. He, instead of just saying you need to come here with 2,000, he said you need to come with 1,000 plus 1,000. This is crazy. Yo, but hey, look, the Rolex ain't gonna pay for itself. The private jets ain't gonna pay for itself. And the Ponzi scheme needs people at the bottom to fund it. All right. Now, I want to look at another pastor before we get back to this guy and just realize how they be moving. Let's go up to the top of this article here and look at a guy called the Bling Bishop. U.S. pastor sentenced to 9 years in prison. He's currently about a year into his 9-year sentence as we record this video. Now, if anybody doesn't remember, a flamboyant Brooklyn pastor known as the Bling Bishop has been sentenced to 9 years in prison for schemes that include preying on the bank account of one of his followers. Lamar Whitehead, a New York preacher known for his flashy lifestyle, was found guilty in March of wire fraud, attempted extortion, and making false statements to federal investigators. Whitehead, 45, he'll be getting out when he's around 54, used his position as a religious leader to fleece people out of money to fund his lavish lifestyle. Absolutely not what the other preacher was doing. We are not saying that that's what he needed the extra 1,000 for. Of course not. The extra 1,000 he doesn't have to pay taxes on. One of his victims, A member of his church gave him $90,000 of her life savings, believing that the money would go towards purchasing a home for her. Instead, Whitehead spent it on clothing and car payments. That's what Whitehead did. All right, just want to talk a little bit about what's going on with a majority of the preachers, actually. A majority of them. But what I want to say is that all of this is bad. Roberta, the pastor, that we're going to get to in a second again, when we look at their follow-up video of all this, I want to go directly to the Bible. I want to quote this directly from the Bible and talk about why they were both wrong in their performance, although Roberta was the only one that got basically humiliated. It says here that in Matthew 6-1-4, believers should not perform good deeds, such as giving to the needy, to be seen by others, as this earns no reward from God. Instead, such acts of righteousness should be done with the right motive, privately and secretly, so that God is the only audience and he will reward those who give with a sincere heart. The passage warns against practicing righteousness for public self-aggrandizement. Now, what we just seen in the first slide was that all of this was public. All of this was aggrandizing, coming in your Sunday's best. Got little man in a shiny suit. Got the pastor looking like his suit costs about $10,000. Is fitted. Is looking good on him. Head all shined up, all shaved up. But I also want to look at one more verse before we get to the final part of this. And it is going to be, again, Matthew's, but now it's going to be 6:3-4, where it instructs followers to give to the needy in secret without seeking recognition. Now, Pastor needs that private jet. Pastor needs that Rolex. He needs that Bentley and that Audemars baguette. So the pastor's in need. And what it says right here is that, look, if you're going to give to the needy, you at least got to do it in secret. But she did it on camera in front of everybody in the church and publicly named out that she was giving them not only $1,000, but an extra $235, $765 less than she was supposed to. I don't know how that's possible, but the pastor got limits. If it ain't at least $2,000, you can't come up. You got to stay in the back. Go to the last row of the pews and sit down. You disgrace me coming up here with that little bit of money. Can't do nothing with $12.35. It also says, it uses the phrase, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, to emphasize the act of giving should be private and sincere. This is with the hypocritical practice of giving publicly to gain human praise. Now, when you look at this situation, it looks like she definitely wanted to get praise from the pastor, the one that's needy, because he needs all the money. But it also says that she is being a bit too flashy in her giving. And the pastor, I think he understands this verse, and that might be part of the reason why he shunned her. Now, lastly, according to this passage, when one gives secretly, their Father who sees what is done in secret and will reward them. And she didn't get rewarded. She got humiliated. But the news wanted to get a follow-up on this, and the pastor set up an immediate damage control interview, and this is what they had to say.
Major misunderstanding that's gone viral on social media.
On Sunday, Pastor Marvin Winans hosted a day of giving. Members of Perfecting Church were asked to donate $1,000 and raise another $1,000 to help finish the new sanctuary in Detroit and support their community programs. Pastor Winans asked those giving $2,000 or more to come to the front of the church first, with others following, from the largest donors to those donating as little as $1.62. The one member, Roberta McCoy, went viral after someone posted video of her coming to the front with less than $2,000, claiming she was rebuked by Pastor Winans. I spoke exclusively with both Pastor Winans and Roberta McCoy. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. She's been attacked online since that video began spreading. You're the woman in that viral.
She's the one that got attacked? Wow.
Video. Right. He did not rebuke you.
He absolutely did not rebuke me. Now, there's a difference. There was a correction, because let me clearly state that Pastor gave instruction on the lines to get into.
I was calling because the whole church was giving, and it was our day of giving, and the whole church was coming, and we didn't want people standing, the mothers and all that, so I was calling them by increments. And we had someone that had given out of before, and I corrected it, and I told everybody to listen and come when you call, and that's all that was.
Roberta told me Pastor Winans personally apologized to her. She's been a member of Perfecting Church since 2013 and has given faithfully over the years and will continue to do so.
Yeah, she's given faithfully over the years and she'll continue to do so. And, you know, the pastor, he will continue to accept all of her money until it gets into the hundreds of thousands. And then when she needs help, he won't be there. He won't be there because he'll be on his plane. He gonna take off real quick with the dough. Now, look, I'm not one to judge. That's not my job. I am not God. But I will say this situation is very, very strange. But I want to know what y'all think about all of this. That's the reason I put this up. What do you think about tithing? What do you think about the churches? Do you think they need to pay taxes? Do you think that the pastor is doing anything illegitimate with the money to benefit himself more than the people that support him? Or do you think that the pastor is a very giving person and he would never use a dollar for himself because the dollar is supposed to be actually for God and Jesus, not for him? He's just a vessel of the two. I don't know. I'll let y'all be the judge of that. But until then, I gotta go.